Welcome to Trador's tutorial number 1, which includes basic introduction with the main screen and creating and analyzing positions. Trador's version and user's license information are displayed on the top blue header. The present portfolio's name and number appears at the end, on the right of the second menu's line. Below the menu line comes the buttons and the expiration periods. Creating positions before execution is done on the upper left simulations table that contains the options of the current expiration periods and is sorted by strike. The simulations table has 4 control buttons that controls the way options are displayed. The bottom left table is the inventory table that contains all executed options. The upper right table is the profit-loss table. Various index scenarios are automatically spread here, and profit-loss is computed for each index. The right column is for defining goals for the seek engines, and we'll get back to it in another tutorial. Each of these 3 tables has its own functional submenu, which appears when clicking the right mouse button over it. At the center of the screen, we have the Greeks and margins data panels. Below the profit-loss table, we have the Smart Dynamic Strategy graph. The middle vertical line indicates the current index of the present underlying asset. This is a dynamic graph, and we'll get back to it later. Below the graph, all the way from the left to the right of the screen, is the Assets Details line. We can see the current Amazon symbol, expiration date, and days till expiration, computed implied index according to current options market prices, the index retrieved from the stock exchange, the percentage change, and the date and time that data was imported. The small d, if displayed, indicates that data was imported with 15 to 20 minutes delay. The bottom gray line is the status line that displays explanation of any object that the mouse is over it. Expiration periods appears on the drop-down combo box that is placed on the top buttons line. Once a specific expiration month is chosen, Trador displays its options on the simulations table and the executed option on the inventory table. Now we're ready to create any position and analyze it. Let's start with a simple one. We'll click on the left Buy-Sell column and activate any option with a buy or sell action. Let's sell 5, put 210, and sell 5 call 245, creating a short strangle. Since we don't see all active options on the screen, we'll gather them at the top by clicking on the Active Control button below the Simulations table. Options in position are sorted by strike, and after them, the rest of the unactive options sorted by strike. We can see some new buttons on the simulations table. These are quick action buttons. They assist us to activate some common functions quickly instead of activating them from the table's submenu. Quick action buttons can be hidden or displayed from the View menu. Now, let's reduce position risk by buying some calls and puts hedging options. Clicking the All Control button sorts the table by strike, so focusing and finding options to add to original position is faster. We'll buy 5 call 255 and buy 5 put 200 and gather the entire position on top by clicking the Active button. Notice the total current investment of this position below the simulations table. This is the actual current cash flow, and the total investment below the inventory table, which includes both simulations and inventory areas. Additional important information about every option will be displayed when placing the mouse over each option price value, displaying its bid, ask, last price, Black-Scholes value, volume, last traded time, implied volatility, and the Greeks. Let's start analyzing this position. First, the Greeks are displayed in the center. Delta, theta, vega, gamma, and so on are money values, so that delta minus 21.55 is actually divided by 100 for percentage value. So the current position is a delta neutral low-risk value with a low positive theta, and so on. The profit-loss table displays the what-if expiration will occur on different indexes and the calculated profit or loss at each index. Same thing, but much more sophisticated is the Smart Dynamic Graph. Red and blue areas indicates loss and profit. Also, we see the zero crossing points from loss to profit. Moving the mouse over the graph exposes additional information on different market scenarios. Let's stop at Index 241 and analyze the displayed data. Present index and percentage from the spot is displayed on the top. Profit or loss, future cash flow, new balance after expiration, Greeks, and the margins. If margins exceeds the portfolio's collateral, they will be colored with a red background color. To see that, I'll just increase the quantities of the short options to 25 each. Now, when moving the mouse over the graph, it reveals the margins boundaries, so that on a drop market, margins exceed at about index 200. And on a raise market, margins exceed at about index 261. Displaying margins with a red background color. After this, I'll just reduce quantities to 5 again. The graph can be paged left and right and zoomed or unzoomed. Also, the graph can be changed to cash flow graph, delta graph, theta graph, and so on. Notice the graph's title, the spectrum points, and the highlighted yellow color of the graph, which indicates a special and non-regular view. We'll switch back to profit-loss graph. Manipulating the position manually is also easy by changing a specific strike or modifying the quantity. Typing in another price will display a blue or red rectangle over it, indicating that the price is other than the last price. A red or blue rectangle indicates better or worst price for the investor. Returning to original last prices is made by clicking the right mouse button over the simulations table and choosing the Update Share Prices function. Let's examine current positions with the bid-ask or last prices. Clicking the price title once will switch the entire position to bid and ask prices. The buy option will come up with the ask market price and the sell option with the bid market price. Highlighted yellow color alert indicates that someone is trying to buy cheap or sell expensive. The investor should be aware of that. Usually when it happens, we shall observe a large gap between the bid and ask prices, and it's recommended to switch mode to last price for a better realistic view. Cheap and expensive alerts happens when the bid or ask price exceeds 10% from the last price. Objects with a corner red triangle reveals more information when moving the mouse over them, such as current investment, implied index, and symbol. Thanks for watching, and see you on our next tutorial.